2 Megapops is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to get 2 million or more pops with a single tower. In this video we're going to be covering the Lord of the Abyss. What I feel is going to be the most difficult portion of this entire run is actually starting, because the Mermonkey is not exactly what you call a very good starting tower. It does have 650 price to its name, which means you can actually spawn it down as soon as you're in the game, but at the same time, can we actually really do this? We need a tower to cover our backs here because of the fact that we're not going to be doing very well unless we have some other tower which can actually pop balloons, and obviously as you can tell, balloons are already sneaking away, which is why I think having this engineer over here is going to be a good idea. We're going to be transforming this into an overclock anyway, so two purposes in one. Back cover for the time being, and then also with the other stuff going on here. Ooh, just about. If it wasn't for that red balloon, we would have been in hot water. I mean, game over screen. We are eventually losing it when it comes to leverage down here, which is ideally where I want my tridents to be facing, but we're not going to always be doing that because we're not on last at the moment, and having it on strong at the moment is kind of good because when we can hit the most amount of targets and then go from there. Geraldo is up next. We're going to be spawning him near the exit of the map as well, because we definitely need another form of back defense here. And the yellow balloon, it wasn't the yellow balloon that got me, but it was inside the yellow balloon that got me. How about last? Can we give the majority of yellow balloons? Yes, we can. So putting you a little bit on last actually saved our bacon there, because we managed to impact one of the yellow balloons more than our previous attempts where we had 2 yellow balloons remaining and they kept going towards the exit, which is not ideal. Going up towards Trident Swiftness. Oh, we just managed to do that round. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Just managed to get... no, not quite. Man, Mermonkey starts really drain you of your patience. Just because they're not very good as a starting tower, I'm not gonna lie, because they keep making their way through your defenses. What about just some Echo Sense positions so that then they can seek their target rather than fire in a straight line? Is that any better? I prefer trying Swiftness, to be honest, when it comes to like overall performance, but that managed to do the job very well. As I said at the beginning of the video, the early game is going to be the most difficult out of everything. Now we've got pink balloons to contest with. Trident Swiftness up and running. Let's get as many of those pink balloons as possible, and that's done the trick. Excellent. Go back onto strong for the yellow balloons here, because as we know on this channel, yellow balloons are the most dangerous of all kinds of targets on the channel. Never ever underestimate the tenacity of a yellow balloon. Green balloons, a whole bunch of green balloons. Sometimes it's not the actual target that's a problem, but how many of them there are at a single given point in time, and this is going to be very interesting. So in Geraldo's arsenal, he has some amazing tuber glues which I'm going to utilize here so that we can slow down these balloons just enough so that then we can actually pop them. That's round 19 sorted. Same story, round 21, another round which consists of yellow balloons and pink balloons, which can be very threatening at times if you're not careful. Okay, now that the glue has run out, I think we're not going to do that well, so we're going to need to put another tube of amazing glue down, and hopefully we will have amazing results here. Ideally we want the abyssal dweller in order to increase our popping potentials, because it gains some more damage as you go up the upgrades, and I think it has more pierce as well, which is good. It doesn't buff itself. Like if you want to buff an abyssal dweller with abyssal dweller buffs, but you need to put down another abyssal dweller, which I'm not ideal with because of the fact that, well, that will then steal pops. And speaking of stealing pops, we're going to put down our alchemist. Now, I want to put you over here, but I'm not too sure if you're going to actually be able to reach over there. I'll tell you what, we'll hold off on purchasing you right now, we'll put you on round 28 so that we don't make the mistake of accidentally purchasing you when we are not able to reach it over there. Can we reach it? That's the question. Yes, we can. We can reach it. Good, good, good. I want you to buff it so that, well, you can pop lead balloons, because now that we are actually the Abyssal Dweller, I think its damage type changes from sharp to shatter, which means it can't pop anything other than lead balloons, but when you give it the acidic mixture dip, it is the equivalent of a normal damage type. As long as the buff keeps on applying, that is. Very interesting round. They almost got to the exit there, but no worries, no worries. We're going to go for the Abyssal Warrior next, which is going to increase our damage again and enable us to actually ink the balloons so that they slow down. But what's really interesting at this given point in time actually, is that the Abyssal Warrior's ink actually slows down balloons more than the Lord of the Abyss's ink does. Which makes perfect sense! They're making it to the exit here, but not that much because of the tentacle attacks as well, which is very, very handy. We've got the trident attacks and the tentacle attacks, which is pretty swell, to be honest. And if you've ever been on Reddit recently, there's a lot of fan art of both, particularly the top path Mermonkey and the bottom path monkey, which is pretty interesting to say the least. Not in the ways in which you're thinking of. How dare you think dirtily of me? Also, I keep mistaking the Abyss Dweller as the Abyssal Dweller just because this has Abyssal in its name. That is abysmally bad of me. As a content creator of the balloons. Okay, we're going to go up to Berserker Brood now. I think actually the most difficult aspect of this game is done and dusted. It's the beginning. It's starting out, it's getting your feet on the ground and going through this process. Round 39. Come on, Berserker Brood. Be applied to the Mermonkey here. We really need you right about now. And there goes the rest of that round. I honestly think the Lord of the Abyss is the most balanced when it comes to damaging all kinds of targets. It's not suffering from the weakness of the middle cross path where it can no longer pop purple balloons with its ability, although this thing does lack lead popping potential, sorry, but that can be easily fixed with our good old friend here, Alk. As soon as we get the village up and running, the Abyssal Warrior is going to be able to pierce buff the Alchemist here, which is not entirely good, but still we need the the Alchemist in order to increase the power of this thing. Like, the strongest stimulant is one of the most viable supporting towers which you can put down, especially for a low power tower, which really, like, it could actually just double or even triple the firepower of a particular tower just because you start out at 1 or start out at 2, and you can really enhance your damage output because of a few clicks of a button on this otherwise impossible to put together sorcery. It's actually alchemy. As you've seen in the thumbnail, we are going to get the homeland defense, but we're not going to touch the middle path for the time being here, because I really want to get ourselves the overclock so that then we can make ourselves an easier time in order to actually get up to Lord of the Abyss. It feels like, honestly, the tentacle attacks are making work of the frontmost balloons, and then our trident is just focused on the backmost balloons, which are quite strong. So we've got multitudes of attacks up and running here, and the pierce on this thing is honestly really impressive. It feels like I'm not struggling at all when it comes to lots of targets. I think that's also because of the tentacle attacks as well being very, very helpful here. And the second Moab goes down like so. The Alchemist is only able to affect Moabs up here, then also everything that goes on here. So that's why I'd rather have it up here than down here, where it could actually pop Moab class balloons when they're over here. Although BFBs and ZMGs may still be affected here. I'm not concerned about the bad. We have the overclock now, which I should have gotten last round or so, but no worries. How are you all liking the new tower in update 44 so far, and which is your favorite? I did put a poll on my page, and it's honestly quite a close call between the top path and the bottom path final upgrades. I like all three of them for different reasons. I think I like the middle path a bit less now that Ninja Kiwi's changed its ability damage type from Shatter to Plasma, which, just case in point, it didn't have an issue popping lead balloons before the change, but now you're double downing on the Plasma damage type, meaning the Arctic Knight, without any external support, has no means of popping purple balloons, which what the ability granted it, the ability to pop purple balloons. This is strictly speaking on a two-tower chimps perspective. Obviously you can remove all of your weaknesses with an MIB, or in certain cases with the acidic mixture dip. So what's our next objective? I think we're going to increase the range of our Abyssal Warrior here by getting ourselves a few more Mermonkeys with Echo Sense Network, because they can buff one another, honestly, with increased range. So that's a third one over there, a fourth one over there, get the overclock back up and running, and then another one. You know what, you can be behind those two there. Not all of them will be here. Hopefully they don't steal any pops. You better not steal any pops, otherwise I will un-mermonkify you, if that's even a thing, which is basically, oh, we can't sell. I had a solution. Nah, Chimps doesn't allow you to perform the solution. Round 62, no problems, but we do have fortified Moabs to contest with here. They're gone down just like that. Now, round 63, I think it's going to be really easy. Like, they entered near the tentacles and the ceramics were just instantly evaporated. I feel like, honestly, that Ninja Kiwi will be nerfing the tentacles attack at the very least of the top path, just because they're really powerful against ceramics. Like, it looks like they were instantly killing the ceramics, or at least be able to take a huge chunk of their HP off. And I wonder if getting this before getting that was a mistake. I don't think so. I should have gotten Joe's Fire, honestly, for the lead balloons and other targets currently from here on out, but we'll just stick with what we have for the time being. The Abyssal Warrior is quite powerful in and of itself, along with the support that we've given it so far, so I think we could do without the Joe's Fire for the time being. Perhaps we'll buy it later on in the last 10 rounds. Perhaps. We do have 335 steals on the Alchemist, so sorry, that's gone up to 343, which is honestly quite favorable so far, because this is a relatively short-range tower anyway, so you're expecting to get quite a few steals from the Alchemist in a 2 Megapop scenario, just since because you have to have the Alchemist very close to this anyways, in order to give it some benefits. Once we do get level 14 Invisibility Potion though on Geraldo, we will apply it to the Abyssal Warrior, just because of the fact that we can increase our range. Our attack range, which means we should be able to reach the BFBs over here, which is very ideal. Very, very ideal. All I can think of when it comes to the top half Mermonkey is Omori, where the thing just stares at you from within the darkness. It's the bottom part with these eyes here. They creep me out. Okay, we need to switch you back to first, because by being on strong, you're targeting the BFBs rather than these, and the 4 to 5 Moabs are not to trifle with. I'm just going to say that out loud. We're very close to the Invisibility Potion at its better stage. Not the best stage, but the better stage. Pierce-wise, not an issue. Against all of... Oh my goodness. Yeah, I see the tentacles here getting a nerf, honestly, because they are really powerful. Especially for their cost, they can just wipe out ceramics. Also, we have Lord of the Abyss now, which is pretty swell. Pretty abyssal, if you ask me. A very abyssally decision to make. Around 78 ceramics. Wait, I thought these were supposed to be a challenge. What about BFBs? Can we do some justice against these guys? Even when we're not focusedly targeting on those ceramics, they were still completely eviscerated by the tentacles of this Mermonkey. That is such a it's such a great portrait, but it's also incredibly eerie as well. Like, this is probably my favorite portrait out of the different Mermonkeys ones, and it's down to the eerie, creepy factor about it. The ink splayed about, the eyes underneath here, the extremely well, not evil, but ghastly look that the Mermonkey is projecting towards you here. Like, it's a total duality from the final harmonic, which is like, this is cuter, but then again, those teeth are not that cute. Then we've got dark, gloomy, emo-y, and then we've got this Greek god here just vibing. He's just vibing out of everything, whereas the top half and bottom half are usually mentioned in artistic conversations. It's lovely seeing art by people. I think a lot of art that people make throughout the community is just so wonderful to see. Oh, I forgot to actually apply this. We'll apply it next round, actually. But seeing a lot of fan creations that people make, like hypothetical heroes within the game or something along those lines, it's just so wonderful to see. So much talent put in by people. I've always loved art because I've always wanted to do it myself. It's just the fact that every time I try and hold something incredibly delicate, my wrists and my fingers just like vibrate quite on a annoying level where I can't hold something without my hand shaking. So photography is another example. I can't get a incredibly clear image at all because my hands just don't like anything that requires that kind of concentration physically. It's delicate concentration, if you get my drift here, which I can't do because my wrist and my hands shake. It's part of my physical dyspraxia and also have mental dyspraxia as well, which I've had for all of my life. Like, it's not something that will ever go away, even if I don't want it to be apparent. But if, let's say, if there was a scientific discovery one day where you're able to kind of, it sounds kind of morbid here, but if you're able to remove the effects of autism, then would you be the same person that you are today? And I'm just going to say this right now, you wouldn't be the same person because you've been altered in some way. It's kind of like having, probably not the same effect, but it could be quite similar to multiple personality disorder, where you wake up one day having some kind of thoughts, and then when you wake up the next day you have an incredibly different set of thoughts. It's kind of like that kind of transformation, but permanently, which could be for better or could be for worse. I think we should put down a glue gunner now, specifically a relentless glue, so that we can slow them all down. Call to arms! No way you're escaping from me, balloons! Also, I've had this question where people think that having Jerry's Fire is really cheesy. It makes any scenario really easy when it comes to 2 Megapops, because you can always just apply it when it runs out and stuff like that. But I like to think that with certain towers, it's nigh on near impossible to get them as 2 Megapops without Jerry's Fire. It's kind of like that helping hand, which pushes you in the right direction. You're the one that did all the work, but all the advice that you're given, with the support that you're given, that is the helping hand in which you needed in order to get to that end point. And Jerry's Fire is the helping hand, which will enable you to get to that end point. And then when you reach your final form, so let's say this, then we're not so reliant on it in order to get us to the finish goal here. Especially since Lord of the Abyss is quite powerful. Let's see, round 90 DDTs, go away. We apply the invisibility potion. I've always used to the second form and the third form lasting for 15 rounds rather than being only 10 rounds. Another nerf to Geraldo within the endless list of nerfs that Ninja Kiwi keeps giving our poor hero over here. But then sometimes you do get buffs with Geraldo, let's say with the fact that fertilizer can be put on any kind of farm now. You know what will be a good buff? If you can apply the apply fertilizer to a Monkeyopolis. Like, I think that would be one way to give it a little bit more viability, especially since Ninja Kiwi keeps nerfing the monkey options as well, so that each amount of farm sacrifice, so it gives you less money. Round 94, a huge amount of everything coming our way here. Let's put call to arms now and target these CNGs. We can reach quite far now because of all of the upgrades that we've given this, especially with like the Echo Sense network being a very good thing. I wonder if Ninja Kiwi is going to slightly buff this, because it's honestly only a really marginal increase to the range. But I think that's probably what Ninja Kiwi was going with when it comes to the Echo Sense network, linking with other Echo Sense network Mermonkeys. It's only a very small upgrade. In some cases, it could actually make the difference between yes and no for, let's say, a 2 Megapop scenario here going on. But this is art in its work. One tower doing the huge majority of damage to the balloons. I could have waited a bit longer to get Homeland Defense, but we're here and now. Oh, by the way, what's the Pierce benefit to a to a monkey village that's not the expertise? When it comes to like supporting another tower for 2 Megapops, I wouldn't necessarily go for Lord of the Abyss because it's too expensive, so I would just settle for Abyssal Warrior, honestly. And also don't link it with Echo Sense Network or Echo Sense Position. Just leave it as a 400 and you'll be good on that front. Homeland Defense, doing quite big damage. Not a lot of damage though to it. It does take a few tridents to hit a Mo class balloon for it to then lose its current form. Right now, the Homeland Defense, and they all go down like that. Excellent. Round 98, the most difficult of rounds in a scenario like this. I don't think people are going to argue about that particular statement that I've just made there. It is definitely the most RBE concentrated round in a normal game of Chimps. We're going to go up to Spike Storm here. Very nice here. And you know what I'm going to do? Just to have a bit of fun, we're going to free our cave monkey friend over here. And as I was saying, we're going to be freeing our cave monkey friend. Actually, let's just activate Homeland Defense now. And while under the effect, activate... I call it Homeland Spikes there. Nice placement for the caveman. Let's combine all of this together and then do this another time with the Spike Storm. And you'll go down like that. Excellent. And just leaves with 0 MGs. Keep on tapping the Homeland Defense. Yeah, we've got this. We've got this in the bag. 2,021,000 pops with the Lord of the Abyss. That is how you get the 2 Megapops achievement using the Lord of the Abyss with some really difficult early rounds and then a stupid part on my end with round 99. And that's how we got to this point over here. I'm not really too sure what to settle for a nickname for the Mermonkey, which is why I keep changing it in every video. Also, fun facts about the Lord of the Abyss is that if you place it on land or have it near land, then you're able to place naval towers, which can only be spawned on the water, on land around the Lord of the Abyss, which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie, pretty cool. It's like the Middle Path Ice Tower, but it's the inverted sort of stuff going on here. Near 1,000 pops, pretty cool. This got a lot of steals, but obviously that was the intention of it, to be able to bring down the bad layer. This served no purpose other than to free Cave Boy, and Cave Boy got 23. Pretty cool. These two were very important at the back here in order to pop early, like yellow balloons and stuff. A big old menace! Thank you all so much for watching it. Oh, okay, that's pretty satisfactory. I almost read that as like 3 million exactly. What the hell? And please be sure to use my creator support code whenever you're purchasing anything in the stores. And goodbye, Mr. Beast pack. Thank you all so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everybody.